Hello, my name is Troy White. I'm a portfolio manager and financial educator with Hoodoo Financial. Today, I want to talk to you about practical solutions to an independent African American economy, Black economic independence. There's just some bullet points in my notes that I looked through and thought, hey, let's talk about that. So let's just go through the bullets. Economic power makes civil rights irrelevant. This is true in so much as if we have a our own independent economy, then that gives us the power to not be beholden to outside forces for hiring and for our economic survival, fundamentally to eat, our food, our shelter, our to be able to sustain a lifestyle that brings you joy and happiness. Too often that is dependent upon outside communities to provide us with employment so that that can exist. And if we have our own circular economy, then that gives us that level of independence, making civil rights irrelevant at that point. We could dive deeper into that, and that can be an ongoing debate. But fundamentally, even if you don't use the word irrelevant, you can say makes economic power makes civil rights damn near irrelevant. Having the power to prevent anyone from harming us. That's my next bullet, and it ties right into the first one. Giving us economic power. Economic power prevents folks from harming our community because with the economic power comes the ability to battle economically, trade wars and such, but also means you have some economic levers to pull. It means we can cause some sort of damage economically to those forces that try to do damage to us. As you try to hit me, I'm going to hit you back. It's going to hurt you. So be ready to get hit back. So that's fundamentally the threat that has to happen, has to occur economically so that our community will not be injured, so that companies will think twice before they implement policies that are detrimental to our needs. And likewise, politicians will think twice before acting negatively towards our community. And next bullet, punish those who oppose our interests. Fundamentally, economic power gives us that ability. When you speak with your dollars, that doesn't just mean that you refuse to spend where those companies disrespect your dollars or your interest. It also means active participation of the efforts of your dollar. That means actively support those interests and through those companies that you do support and that support your interests. And so in that way, we punish those who are opposed to us. So what do I mean by that? If company A is against you, then we need to withdraw our funds from the economic cycle for company A and actively inject those funds into company B, their competitor. So we need to actively support their competitor, and we need to withdraw our support from the evildoer. And then we need to let everyone know that's why we're doing what we're doing and why we're doing it, so that they understand why this pain is happening to them. Where is it coming from? And this is going to happen through our corporate participation. We need to be part of the corporate world. It's not them. It's not. It's sometimes we look at it as, oh, that's white folks' jobs. Well, that's our corporation. If we have corporate participation, meaning we putting our dollars in this, we're part of this corporation. We are one of the shareholders. That means we have a say in what happens to the shareholders. So it's not just enough for us to invest in these companies. we must use our voice. Our investment dollars comes with a voice, and that voice needs to be heard. So we need to speak with our dollars through action, and then when our dollars get us in the door, we need to let that participation be actively participate. We need to let our voices be heard. And so also we need to participate in corporate participation by starting our own corporations that do business with other corporations. And so there needs to be much more activity in terms of Black companies and vendors and suppliers from Black businesses. I mean, this is a must for us to be able to enforce uh, our make our dollars do good for us. We need to be able to direct these corporations to do business with preferred vendors and suppliers. And so those preferred vendors and suppliers are the ones preferred by the shareholders. So we'll be shareholders. And so another bullet, this is a statement for individual companies to expand and prosper, they must operate under a macroeconomic strategy of entrepreneurship and investing. So that just means we all need to incorporate entrepreneurship and investing in our day-to-day activity. This needs to be a part of our community. It is, but we need to formalize it. It's not just outside jobs and gigs and things. We need to formalize these businesses and compete with the big boys. And we need a mindset of doing this through entrepreneurship and investing in the stock market, but also in corporations for ourselves, group economics, uh, angel investing, um, providing the access to capitals for our own startups and things is what I mean. And then we're gonna, and we can do this. I know what this bullet I wrote is all about. This is coming in the form of as more African American businesses come on board, especially in the technology sector, we are going to, and this is happening now, and I'm involved in some aspects of this. And what I'm getting to is blockchain businesses. And these businesses help to connect our businesses together. And we'll be able to have a closed loop and ongoing connections with our own business entities. So, and I've got other videos that talk about this, but automation in every sector, in every industry, and that automation can advertise to other businesses and other consumers, and and network with suppliers and vendors, and have a complete complete automation to your business. And so so we need to be able to compete, not just compete with the outside other corporations, existing corporations, but compete amongst ourselves, because I think we're going to get steal the market share. But we don't just need one or two businesses that are still in the market share. We need multiple businesses. So instead of five top vendors that are, African American vendors, we want 100 vendors. So it won't be like the Amazon model, where it's just one big company everybody goes to. Well, we would like to divide that market share amongst our own closed loop economy. So instead of one billionaire, we'd like to make 1,000 millionaires. So, this is the concept, and it will allow us to implement that automation in terms of vendors and suppliers automatically working together, um, and through the blockchain, meaning when my supplies are low, my preferred vendor resupplies me, and that happens automatically, and that happens on their chain and their chain and their chain. So we are all being supplied by each other when we run out of product. So that's just we can dive deeper into that. Yeah, but it's fundamentally a blueprint for an economic economy that is automated to a large extent, you know, and and investment clubs are part of that, and we need more activity in investment clubs, targeted investment clubs, specialized investment clubs, and we need to network these investment clubs. And these investment clubs will have specializations in to every possible field. We need every sector and every industry represented, and the individuals within these clubs are are also going to be doing business with their clubs. So our investment clubs will actually generate business for us and will help to spark the economic activity that we're going to need. And because we need that infrastructure to infuse capital in African American economies, and by integrating all of these investment clubs together, and the individuals within these clubs and the clubs working together will start businesses and invest in businesses, and invest in real estate projects, and which in turn generate more business and more consumerism, and again we keep that loop going. Hopefully we'll have more entrepreneurs that are providing products to consumers that we will provide through the network. And so we need to be able to find a way to jumpstart this system of shared entrepreneurism and consumerism. And so it's many things in the works that are doing that, that I'm working on it also. But you know, that could be a year, two, three, even 3 years out. But fundamentally, getting started with your investment club, starting one and joining one, is fundamental to impacting, creating, sustaining a vibrant economic closed economic loop. You know, some form a of Black economic independence. And so then we need that connection to uh, to develop between the economic and the political powers. So we need, starting with it, it all starts with the increased entrepreneurship, and that fundamentally can start by you joining and or starting an investment club. If you need help with that, just click in the link and we'll help get you started. There will be a link to wherever you're seeing this video that'll have some information on how to get started with your investment club. Also, we're going to merge the economic and political power with social enterprises, meaning fundamentally impact investing and group economics. And those are going to work hand in hand, using group economics for impact investing. Impact investing just means using your investment dollars to make some form of a social impact. And that's going to be some sort of targeted impact um, based on whatever your investment club or your group of investors have in mind. So anyway, I'm going to cut it there, and that was just some conversation out of my notes, practical solutions on Black economic independence, primarily engage in group economics. And you're going to do that by starting or joining an investment club, and then look to do business with as many vendors and suppliers that are also from African American owned companies. Reach out to as many African American consumers as possible, and compete. We need to market to each other and as much as possible, and compete with outside businesses as well as inside the closed loop, meaning we need to get our companies to be the best, and the only way to do that is to compete. Let's get on the track and see who's the fastest, who's the strongest, and the best ones will rise to the top, and then those ones are going to compete with the outside businesses, and we're going to win. So that was just my 2 cents. Thanks for listening. Holla back.